My goal is to collect all 4 belts in one weight class and retire. What should I do next? Boxing is a sport for me. It's interesting to challenge champions. Who should I fight with when I become undisputed champion? I'm ready to retire, even at the age of 33 years. For the first time, I wore gloves when I was 5, and after that, my entire life has been boxing. But everything has an end, Lomachenko said. However, Lomachenko declared that he has some opponents to fight with. He pacified Gervonta Davis. Vassili would even go to super featherweight just for the fight with Davis. Yeah, it would be an interesting fight with Gervonta. I like to fight with everyone who talks a lot. Davis is at super featherweight, but I can go for him if only the promoters organize. Could this fight? Lomachenko said. And what does Loma think about rising star Teofimo Lopez and all his trash talking? Vassili compared Lopez to UFC superstar Conor McGregor. He is young and ambitious guy. I think he does great job. People in the United States love these kinds of boxers. He tries to copy Conor, but Teofimo must keep in mind everything that happened to Conor in the octagon, especially when matched with top fighters. Conor lost, Lomachenko said. Okay, now, this is my thoughts on Lomachenko and what he said. First of all, Lomachenko is a tremendous fighter. He's a fighter that I like watching. He's a fighter that's he's very talented. And my thing about this is, I love that you want to chase undisputed. And I love that you're going for undisputed. I think that's what boxing is all about. It's all about undisputed. But even in the process of going for undisputed, you could still leave your fan base unsatisfied. You could still leave your fan base hungry. Just ask Terrence Crawford. You know, Terrence Crawford cleaned out a whole weight division. And what credit does he get for it? Let's be honest. He gets nothing for it, because at the end of the day, there's fights that people want to see, and then there's goals that boxers have, and they don't often align. So right now, Crawford is in the process of getting names that will raise his profile, even though he cleaned out an entire weight division. It is the same thing with Vassili Lomachenko. I don't like the fact that he's talking about retirement, at 33. I don't like that he's talking about retirement, and he's retiring and has not been challenged. You have to understand it. Vassili Lomachenko is leagues above these guys. The closest we got to seeing him facing any kind of adversity is when Linares knocked him down. That's it. That's not good enough for me. I want to see how good he actually really is. I think he should want to see how good he actually really is. Yes, I understand he thinks he's challenging himself, but Richard Comey and Corrales and all them, even though they're exceptional fighters, I can tell you right now, they're not better than Lomachenko. I can tell you that right now. I don't see him losing either one of those fights. You know what I'm saying? Or nobody in that weight class, period. I do not see him losing to anybody. Like I said, this guy clowns in the ring. He does tricks in the ring. He pats people on the top of the head, spins around them like Cinderella. That lets you know that he's fighting way up under his caliber, no matter how good these guys are. Virgil Hunter said something that was interesting to me. He said, when there's not a beast for you, you got to go find the beast. You got to go where the beast is. You got to go where the challenge is. That's the same thing that he told Andre Ward. When you don't have a challenge, when you don't have a beast, when you don't have a dancing partner that's going to define your legacy, you have to go find that person. And that's my thing about Lomachenko. And he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Floyd ain't going to let that happen. Gervonta Davis does not want to fight you. Okay? Does not want to fight you. I'm not interested in you chasing somebody who does not want to fight you. He don't want to fight you. Even though I think he has a good chance of winning, it doesn't matter. He doesn't think he can win. I've done a video on this already. He doesn't think he can beat you, Lomachenko. So where do you go from there? So you mean to tell us after you become undisputed, you're ready to retire? which I have no problem with, but you haven't been challenged. Let's be honest. You haven't been challenged. You haven't want to avenge your loss against Salido, which to me, that is a challenge. I mean, just tell me if I'm wrong. What competitive boxer don't want get back? What competitive boxer don't want to beat the guy that beat them? I mean, you could at least in your career like that. No, I have to right this wrong. Salido's not a better fighter than me, and I can prove it. But even though he's far gone and over a hill and it's too late, but you didn't want to avenge a loss. And this is the thing about people talking about Gervonta Davis and Vassili Lomachenko. Everybody's criticizing Gervonta Davis for him being slow roasted and for them taking their time developing Gervonta Davis. Hey, I don't like it just like you guys don't like it. But if we was to be fair, now listen to me, listen very closely. If we was to be fair, didn't Vassili Lomachenko stay in the amateurs till he was good and ready to become a professional? See, everybody bring up those 300, 400 fights as if it's something good when it's actually something that hurt Lomachenko. He stayed in the amateurs too long. The key word is amateurs. He stayed fighting against amateurs till he felt he was good and ready to become a professional. All right, that's not Gervonta Davis' case. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what his amateur career is, but it's nothing like Vassili Lomachenko's. And I'm pretty sure he had a few fights and jumped straight into the pros. So this is the thing. Vassili Lomachenko was allowed to develop for an extremely long time. So much so that when he entered the game, he was already older than what he should have been when he started his professional career. That's just facts. So truthfully, Vassili Lomachenko got his time to develop just like people are trying to deny Tank Davis. And trust me, I'm not taking up for Tank Davis. I don't even like Floyd. I don't even like PBC fighters. And I don't like Mayweather Promotions. That's besides the point. But the point is, Vassili Lomachenko had his time to develop. And he stayed in the amateurs till he was good and fucking ready. That's the truth. So the fact that they're trying to do the same thing with Gervonta Davis, I can't really be mad because that would be hypocritical. I don't like it, but it's hypocritical. It's very hypocritical. Now, this is the other thing he said. He said he likes to fight people who likes to talk a lot of trash. Well, who talks more trash than Teofimo Lopez at this point? Let's be honest. Come on, let's be real now. Forget all that hero worshiping. Forget all that I must protect my fighter at all costs kind of crap. Let's be real. Okay, let's be real. Teofimo talk trash, but you see, he ain't talk about fighting Teofimo Lopez. He's talking about retirement. And then after that, he's talking about fighting Gervonta Davis right after he become undisputed. But at the same time, he claims that he likes fighting fighters who talk a lot of trash. Now add that up and try to make that make sense. Okay, Teofimo's talking a lot of trash. Yes, I know Teofimo doesn't have nothing to offer. Teofimo recognize that. But everybody recognized that would be a good fight because at least you have somebody who's close to your athleticism. You know what I'm saying? That's a live wire, that's with it, that's not scared of you, that's ready to test itself, that's ready to challenge itself. And this is what I don't get. Everybody's telling Teofimo to slow his roll. Why? What's wrong with a young man wanting to challenge himself? If he want to get out there and crash and burn, so what? You know what I'm saying? He wants to test himself. Okay, nobody had any problem with Lomachenko coming out of the gate, testing himself with top level opponents when he first walked in the game. Everybody was praising that. Right? The point is, he stayed in the amateurs way too long, but he stayed in the amateurs till he felt he was comfortable to make that jump. That's the same thing that Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather is doing. You know what I'm saying? They developing him till he's ready to make that jump. Talking about, oh, he's aging Lomachenko out. Honestly, Lomachenko aged himself out. That's the truth. And keep in mind, I don't like no Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. I think he's an Adrian Broner waiting to happen. But you talk about undisputed and then talk about retiring, and you haven't even seen, he hasn't even challenged himself or seen how good he is. Yes, he's fought great opponents, but when you are better in leagues above what we consider great, we have to go find somebody that's on your level because we want to see you challenge at the end of the day. If you do not you will be a great fighter with nothing specific that stands out about you. This is why I keep talking about building, building up your name. Now, a Manny Pacquiao fight would have done that for you easily, but you ain't want that fight. Okay? People can say what they want. He didn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao. All right? He didn't want that. Now, here it is. You had this kid, Teofimo Lopez, that everybody would be interested in, regardless of what they say. Corrales, okay. Comey, all right. But it's not going to have as many eyes on it as a Teofimo Lopez fight. You know what I'm saying? And Max Kellerman just proved me right when you watch his new show. Max Kellerman is talking the same shit that I was talking when people was telling me I was crazy for talking it. Max Kellerman feel the same goddamn way. You know, and what he has to say is more relevant and more potent than me. He's in the game, literally in the game. You know, and it's the same thing Radio Raheem asked him. He said, if you don't want to fight for legacy and if you don't want to fight for money, who is there for you to fight at your weight class? Lomachenko said, there is nobody. So what are you doing in boxing, man? I always said Lomachenko is too great of a fighter to be unknown like he is. He's too great of a fighter not to be a pay-per-view star. He's too great of a fighter not to be making more money than what he's making. I understand you had your personal goals and all that other stuff, but all this talking retirement crap, man, I don't want to hear this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the same people, the same kind of people that try to protect Deontay Wilder and the bullshit he doing. These are the same kind of people that try to protect Mayweather and the bullshit he do. Those are the same type of people that try to protect Manny Pacquiao and the shit he do. It's the same type of people that try to protect Vassili Lomachenko and the bullshit he do. That's why I created the Duck Chronicles, to let you know I recognize all the duckers. You know what I'm saying? And I hate fucking ducking. I want to see the fights I want to see, whether it's for unification, undisputed reasons, or whether I just think it'll be an interesting fight. At the end of the day, you watch boxing to be entertained, not to lick ass, not to wrap nobody up in a wool cloth. But that's just my opinion. But you can leave your opinion in the comment section and let me know what you think about Vassili Lomachenko talking about retirement right after Undisputed, if he doesn't get Gervonta Tank Davis. And we all know Gervonta Tank Davis is not going to fight Lomachenko. So what does that mean? Retirement or go and find a challenge? Because y'all don't want him to go up in weight. He doesn't want to go up in weight. Bob Arum doesn't want him to go up in weight. But we can subject every other fighter to this thing. Oh, well, you can't find no fight? We'll go up in weight. We'll say that to anybody else. But like I said, there's certain people on this list that people want to protect and don't want to see them challenged. I like Lomachenko. I just want to see how good he really is. Bruce Vane, I'm out.